It's 2 o'clock, and our next committee meeting of the day is the Public Service Committee. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, DeShazier, Bolden, and Lombardo. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'd like to move forward and call the public service meeting to order, please. We do have to move forward and approve the minutes from our meeting in July.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. We do have 3 new pieces in front of us today, which one includes a presentation, and we still have 1 piece on our old agenda that will continue taking time. Our first piece is an ordinance ratifying the actions of the Director of Public Service or his designee in contracting with Kenmore Construction Company for emergency repairs of a failed storm sewer on Cary Avenue and declaring an emergency. And we have our Service Director, Chris Luddle, with us. Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. Yes, this was a repair of a 115-year-old storm sewer on Cary Avenue in the Kenmore neighborhood. Cary Avenue is about 6 blocks south of Battles Avenue. Everybody knows where Battles and the park is. Well, this is heading down towards Barberton. This storm sewer, like I said, is 110 years old. It's a 42-inch. It's a segmental block. Segmental block sewers is the way they constructed these. Unfortunately, when they start to cave in, it's almost like Humpty Dumpty. It's sheets of clay that builds these big sewers, and when they break, they just collapse. So we received a call of a sinkhole. We went out, TV'd it, and we found that this thing was the whole road was gonna cave in, so we had to call a contractor in. They plated the road. Once they got down in there, it's just not easy to connect to these old sewers as those sheets are, so they had to add a manhole, 160 feet of Hobos pipe to replace this sewer. So this is with restoration and repaving of that section of roadway where they had to excavate.
All right, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Committee members, any questions or comments for Mr. Luddle? Seeing any other council members with us today? Okay, Chris, what are you thinking on this piece?
Consent's fine.
Consent's okay? Committee?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed for consent? Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next piece is ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into contract or contracts with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Company for the purchase of a server equipment for the City of Akron water plant and declare an emergency. Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. Up at our water plant, we have 5 existing servers, and these servers manage all the SCADA, all the feeds at our water plant. These are the chemical feeds. These are the doses. This is everything that basically runs the plant and reports back to all the pump stations. We're going to replace these 5 with 6 new servers. These old servers are beyond their useful life, and as you know, when it comes to electronics, when they tell you the technology is no longer supported, we have to upgrade these. So that's what this is for. We're adding 1 to give us more redundancy for future expansion.
All right, thank you, Chris. Any questions from council members on the committee? Any other council members with us today? All right, seeing anything or anyone with questions? Chris, what are you thinking on this one?
Consent's fine.
Consent?
Motion for consent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Moving on to our final piece, ordinance amending and or supplementing Title V, Public Works, Chapter 50, Sewers, Article 2, Sewer Charges, Sections 50.20, Definitions 50.21, Levy of Charges 50.22, Sewer Service Charges, and 50.23, Charges outside the city of the codified ordinances of the City of Akron and declaring an emergency. Chris, I'll turn it back over to you, and please introduce everyone that will be speaking during our committee, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. Yeah, pass them out. Yeah. So thank you, council, and this committee and the rest of council. Next to me is Emily Collins. She is our environmental services manager. Deputy Service Director Jeff Bernowski is passing out PowerPoint
Yeah.
We will have it up on the screen. And what we're going to talk to you today is about a sewer rate adjustment to our rates. This rate adjustment will take place first quarter of next year. We are going to try to coordinate this with our new water billing software and system, but if not, we could institute this as early as February of next year, but not before 2026 will this rate increase go into effect. So we have you have the PowerPoint, we have them up on the screen. We're gonna, Emily and I and Jeff will kind of answer any questions, however you want to do this, sir. We can go slide by slide, and if you want to answer questions that way, or wait to the end. But just a few things I want to ask today is, we're not asking for any kind of vote today. We know this is something we haven't done for 10 years, and we know it's a big thing, and it's going to be something that we have to explain to all our ratepayers, all our customers. So what I'd like to do today is just give this presentation, take time next week, give you 2 full weeks at a minimum, and in the next 2 weeks, any questions you have, you can email me and we will get back to you. We will come to any of your ward meetings. Obviously, it might not happen in the next 2 weeks, but like I said, this rate increase will not go into effect till next year. So we have a few months, but the reason why we wanted to go till next year is give people time to budget. And some of our larger customers, it's going to be more of an increase like it was in water, because it's going to go by the meter size. So it gives us time to talk to those large customers and the impacts it's going to be to them so they can do their budgets. So we can start. I'm going to let Emily start off here with our Akron Waterways.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and the committee. Thank you, Mr. Chair and the committee. I am here not just as the Environmental Services Manager, but also I have stepped into the shoes of Pat Selman and lead the Akron Waterways Renewed initiative. That initiative, in large part, has started with the consent decree mandate that we're faced with to complete the modernization of our sewer system. As you know, I'm changing slides as I'm going along. Please let me know if I need to go back or if you have questions in the interim. On the second slide in your packet, the Akron Waterways Renewed initiative started as a mandate with our consent decree. It has very much grown into a transformative and ambitious community development project. I think we have all seen the improvements to our waterways, the magnetism and community pride that comes with renewed waterways, and we're really proud to be able to show off what the modernization of our sewer system has accomplished. The benefits are public health benefits, they're environmental benefits, but it's also just community benefits. So the investments that we've made, over $1.2 billion in modernizing our system, have really resulted in something that we can all be proud of today. We are 24 of 26 projects in, major projects in. The 25th project, as you know, is the Northside Interceptor Tunnel, so there's one remaining. Along the way, we have tried very, very hard to make sure we're advocating for absolute fiscal responsibility and maintaining a stance in every single amendment that we've sought, that we're trying to get the most bang for our buck for ratepayers. And we've largely accomplished that. When I say that we've had savings from those amendments, it doesn't mean that we had money in the bank that we got to keep. It means that we didn't have to go to ratepayers to ask for those monies. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about the proposed adjustments to our sewer rates. Chris, could you talk about where we are with our needs related to the sewer rates?
So as you know, with our capital improvements, the Northside Interceptor Tunnel We did have an amendment. It is smaller than we signed. We also had to separate part of that neighborhood of North Hill, which did reduce the cost of the overall project, but that tunnel is still $283 million, okay? The first tunnel we did was over $300 million. So the other part of the consent decree, the last project, which we have a proposal before US and Ohio EPA, not to construct that project, but right now, that enhanced high rate treatment at the end of the tunnel, if it's required, is an engineer's estimate of $265 million. So as you can imagine, our last rate increase went down 10 years ago, and consumer price indexes have increased by 36%, and we've been able to stave off any increases because all those amendments that we had before you for the last 10 years. So as Emily said, we didn't save that money. It wasn't like we had that money and put it in the bank. We just didn't have to raise rates. So based on our current revenues, what we bring in every month, every year, and based on starting to pay on this new tunnel, our revenue will, are estimated to be $10 million lower than our expenses starting in 2027, which means by 2027, we will not have the proper amount of funds to repay these loans, and that's just not a sustainable thing. That's why we're coming to you today, and the reason why we're coming to you today is not to do this all at one time, is to spread it out over 4 years, so it's not so painful to our residents.
That's right. When we approached the needs that we knew were in front of us, we had a couple of goals in mind. And those goals included making it as manageable and fair as possible for ratepayers over time. And that meant seeking out modest multi-year adjustments from 2026, so starting in 2026 through 2029. And we're doing that instead of, obviously, a single large increase to make it as fair and manageable as possible. We also knew, much like our water rates, that we needed to include a fixed cost recovery charge. And that's because no matter how much a ratepayer is using, we want to give them the ability to lower their bill by using less, but we also need to recover a certain amount to make sure that we can afford operating the system. And that's going to be true, across the board. So a fixed cost recovery charge is a new component of the rate increase that we're seeking. We also thought about equity and making sure that we are aligning classes of rates, so industrial rates and residential rates, so that we are no longer are including a discount to the industrial ratepayer. I think that's an antiquated concept. We don't need it for community development purposes. So we have adjusted that to make sure that they are aligned. And residential customers are not bearing the weight of the burden of a necessary increase. We need to think about the EHRT if it's mandated, but we have put that out until 2028 so that we will know if we need it or not. So it's a conditional fee, and it will only be implemented if the EHRT is indeed mandated. We have consistently utilized low-interest loans and sought favorable terms and been successful in that. It's been really, really important to us that we ensure that the discount program is simplified and tenants are eligible. So you'll hear more about that in the next couple of slides. The legislation also allows for inflation adjustments after 2029, so I'll have Chris talk a little more about that. We can do it on the next slide, too.
Okay. Let's talk about the volumetric rate. So a 5.3 increase will be instituted next year, and then 5.3 for every year after that to 2029. And as Emily mentioned, the inflation adjustment after 2029. So in 2030, we'll look at the municipal cost index. And as you see, in 2026, that 5.3 equates to 56 cents on every unit of water that goes through your water meter. So when we talk about this, when we talk about averages, the average user uses about 4. It uses about 4 HCF. So if you take the 56 cents and you times it by 4, it comes out to $2.24 extra a month. So it'll be 56 cents in 26, and then in 27, it'll be 59, then 63, then 66. And that after 29, when we look at the municipal cost index, if the municipal cost index goes way up, we're going to cap this at 50 cents. If the municipal cost index goes up and it only allows us to raise rates by 22 cents, then it's only going to go up in 2030 by 22 cents. If the municipal cost index goes way down or negative, we're not going to reduce rates, but if it goes negative, we all have a problem. I mean, that's going to be a serious, serious problem for this country. So I don't ever see that happening. So when we talk about the high rate treatment, if mandated, and we really are expecting to hear something by the end of this calendar year or early next year, but if we have to build it, what it means is $15 a month for every customer for 30 years, okay? And that's why we are trying to propose other alternate projects with the same or better environmental benefit than building this high rate treatment. This legislation, if passed, the way it states is if we do not have to build that high rate treatment, that $15 goes away. It's not like we say, well, we're gonna keep 5 or we're gonna keep 7 or a portion of it. It goes away. If there's any other future rate increases, we have to come back to this council for a rate increase. That's how the legislation is written, and if we are successful, that $15 will be no longer talked about, but it does not go into effect till 2028. I just wanted to be clear on that.
For the customer assistance program, currently, so in 2025, we offer assistance to HEAP and homestead customers at differing rates. We are making sure that we are now offering them a 40% discount for HEAP and homestead across the board. And we want to, for the first time, include tenants who are HEAP customers as eligible for the 40% discount. And it'll be 40% discount on not just the volumetric rate and not just the fixed cost recovery fee, but all the fees for sewer. So 40% off. And that does something to a tenant. Chris is better at describing this than I am, so I'll let him do it. But it actually means that a HEAP customer, an eligible HEAP customer who is receiving the sewer discount, they will be paying less in 2026 than they're paying in 2025. So their rate will actually be less, and their total bill will be less in 2026 than it will be in 2025. If someone has already, a tenant who is a HEAP customer has already gotten the water discount, they will be automatically enrolled. They don't need to do anything to receive the sewer discount. So we're trying to make this as simple as possible. Same eligibility for the same water and sewer bills, and that should give a huge savings to tenants for the first time in the city of Akron's history for sewer bills. Anything you want to say about that, Chris?
Let's go to the table. It might be easier to explain. So here's the table. Currently on the left under 2025, for every unit of water goes through your meter, the charge is $10.66. And as you see in 27, that'll go to $11.22, but we're going to add the $5 fixed fee recovery charge. You know, when we've been working on this for more than a year, okay? And when we look at our other utilities, and someone asked us, aren't you concerned about the other utilities keep raising costs? What's this going to do? Well, we are concerned. We're concerned about everything, but obviously we have a utility to run ourselves, okay? When they raised their rates, I don't think they looked at our sewer rate, right? But if you look at your gas, I'm not going to say the company, or you look at your electric, they're both getting over $40 a month, fixed. And no matter how much you use of those utilities, okay, it's mid-40s to high 40s every month. We're asking for 5. And then we're asking for no increase in that 5. As you could see in 2027, that 5 stays 5. 2027, it goes from 5 to 10. And then in 2029, it goes from 5 next year up to $12.50. So you can see under the EHRT, $15 a month in 2028. As I said, that will go away if we're successful. But let's talk about all these rates. We had so many rates, so many different tables, and we wanted to simplify that. So HEAP and Homestead customers currently for that same, and these 31, 37, and 46 are all based on what I said, the 4 units of water going through your bill. If you only use 3, that 46 is, is going to be cheaper. If you're using 5, it's going to be a little bit more, but we're using 4 as an average. So currently a HEAP monthly 4 HCF customer pays $31.13. They're going to go up to $32.18. Probably won't even notice a dollar difference in their bill, right? The Homestead customer is $37. They're going to drop by $5 a month. And there again, when you look at, we all know our water bills has water, has sewer, and it has trash, okay? So they may not notice it, but I think the big one that's going to notice is the HEAP eligible renters. Currently, they're paying $46.39. They're going to drop to $32.18. They're going to pay the same. They're going to see a $14 difference if they use 4 units of water, okay? And these renters are really struggling. I mean, the rents keep going up. We do not want to get them into a situation where we have to turn off their water, okay? It's rolling a truck. It's sending somebody out. Then they have to pay. Then they have to. So we're trying to do what we can to keep them in that without that vicious cycle of on, off, on, off. We're trying to help them. But if you look, and I think Tina, someone from the county was at your recent ward meeting, you got to tell your elderly customers, if you're not on Homestead, you need to look into it because we do offer discounts on trash. We do offer discounts on water and sewer. So if they're over 65, I would say if they're over 80, they're probably in it because they were grandfathered in. The new regulations are 65 and income. But at some point, they grandfathered them all in, and I don't know if it's 78 or 80 or 82-year-old residents. It didn't matter what they made. They got the Homestead discount, and I think we need to get that message out. They need to sign up. And all we look at is if their income, or when we look on the county's website, if it says Homestead, they get the discount. Okay, because the county manages that Homestead program. We do not. The HEAP program, as she mentioned, if a renter is eligible for HEAP in our water program, they're automatically going to get rolled in this. They don't got to fill out another form. They don't have to call anybody. Okay, but if they're not, they need to sign up. Okay, they need to call our business office, and we'll provide you those contact things of how they can sign up to be in here. So, I mean, at the end of the day, for our customers who do not receive any discount, they're going to go, there again, based on the 4 units, they're going to go from $46.39 to $53.63. It's plus the $5. We can't forget that. That's $7.24. I mean, we all get paid weekly. You know, I'm not trying to sell this to you, but it's less than $2 a week at the end of the day. And we want to provide a high level of service. As a former sewer employee, I could tell you, 15 years ago when it rained, either me, Mr. Aiken, another we were getting called out at night, okay? Our calls for service since all these improvements, all the repairs, all the sewer lining, all these things we've built, our calls for service have dropped almost by 50%, okay? Not that Rob doesn't do anything. They do a lot over there. But the costs for service have really dropped, which is a good thing, because no one wants to go out to somebody's house with something in their basement at 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. You understand? But we feel like what's happened to that river, and some of us are old enough to remember when it burned, you know, that it's come back. And the Metro Parks has doubled down on that. We've doubled down on that. National Park has doubled down on that. There again, I have to give, kudos to our residents and our ratepayers, because let's face it, this was on all of our backs, okay? This was on everybody's back to have to pay for this. We did get some low interest loans, and the people out there, I got to give them credit. Jenny and Pat and Heather, they worked like heck. And there wasn't about we build a basin and we were able to, get $500,000 of grant money. And we bring these to you all the time. But what they did do, hey, if we do this, we can get a low interest loan. They've got some 0% for 45 years. Not that it's free money, we got to pay it back, but it's a lot better than getting an interest rate now. They're ticking up to 3, 4, sometimes 5 on some of these projects, which is horrible, especially when you're getting a loan for 30 million, 40 million, 100 million, a tunnel that's 280 million, okay? So, I've said a lot. I would love to hear from you. And like I said, Chairman, time is what we're looking for, a couple weeks, and we could talk about the 22nd, or we can take more time if needed be.
Thank you, I appreciate it. What we'll do is we'll start with committee members, and hopefully we'll keep it to one question for the committee members so we can move on to the rest of the council members, and then we can swing back for a second or a third question if that's possible. So I'll start with any public service committee members right now. Anybody? Any questions? Councilman McKittrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm curious, is this going to have any impact on our customers who have bib meters?
Have pit meters?
Bib meters, yes, for watering and so on?
No impact at all.
Because, well, yeah, but that...
Oh, you mean bib?
Yes.
Oh, bib, no.
Bib meter.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Because I know when we came in with the new meters, there was discussion about the possibility, because there's many people who can't have those meters because of the location of the new meter and where it's out closer to the curb. So is there any movement on that or thoughts on the possibility of those folks? Because I know this was their previous council person before me, there was a lot of conversation with folks about using water.
So your question is, if you have a pit meter in your
Correct.
front yard, we were telling them we can't give you another meter just for your hose bib.
Correct.
Right. We will look at that. It's possible that maybe we can do something in the house and do a deduct meter, but no, this will not have anything to do with that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sure. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. When it comes to rate increases and everything, I'm sure you're going to have people on both sides, right? There's some going to balk and some are like saying, all right, that's fair. I guess I'd just like to go back to like the last rate increase 10 years ago. I wasn't around, but I'm just thinking that there was some outcry like, what can the city do to control costs and keep rates stable? And so you did. And here we are today, 10 years later. And this is a modest increase. I think it's fair. And, I hear a lot of legislation going on other subjects, whether it's street assessments. And I'd ask the question, when was the last time we raised rates? And you'd respond with, well, it's been since 2009 or 2012 or something like that. So I just think the city has done a phenomenal job with the crew over there included, controlling costs and bringing it to as far as you can go. And, what you said that if we don't do something, we're going to be done here in 2027. So I'd like to commend with the presentation was very good, and I think it's fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I'll go to Councilman Bolden, then to
Thank you.
Shazer.
Thank you, Mr. Little, and everybody here. A couple questions I have. The fixed cost, the $5, $10, and $12.50, and I'm a little confused, and maybe I didn't catch on. Will those be going to people with homestead too?
Yes,
And
but they get a discount.
And heat too?
And everybody gets it.
Gonna get that,
But
okay.
as she stated, we will reduce that cost.
If.
No, if the rate increase goes through, the $5 is reduced by 40%. So when they look at their bill, the $5 fixed fee
For those people,
on a
okay, you're gonna
homestead
take
will
off.
reduce by 40%.
How many users/bills go out a month?
Jeff.
Ballpark.
Jeff?
There's about 85,000 total bills that go out, and those with sewer, there's about 75,000.
That's.
So there's like
yeah,
10,000
Forget the water,
customers that
sewer,
do
we're
not-
talking sewer.
We're talking sewer, so
75,000
$75,000.
a month.
Correct.
Times 12. Get you what the total you're going to get this year from that.
Yeah, and there's actually a scale based on the larger meters. So the majority of all meters are 1 inch and smaller and are residential. But as the meter gets larger, that fixed cost goes up per month as well.
Okay.
And what, can I just add on to that too? When we say 1 inch and smaller is residential, it could be a small commercial.
Right.
You know, just because it's a commercial business, whether it's an insurance agency or if it's a commercial business that has one bathroom, they probably only have a 3/4 meter.
Right.
They're going to pay the $5. They don't pay different because the use is different in the building.
So this is basically a 5-year rate increase. At 29, you said it's going to just automatically go on a cost of living.
Yes.
So that takes council out of this, correct?
You
as far
said- You said that, not me.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if we pass this, as it is.
As it
would take
is,
council
as
out
it
of
is, we do not, and we've studied this, and we studied what we have to do, you know, ongoing maintenance. I can't tell you how much Jeff and Rob can. When COVID hit, our chemical costs went up exponentially, right? But this is based on everything we need to do. This is for future capital projects, and believe me, we've done a lot in sewer. We don't plan on doing too many more, big ones anyway. But yes, this is what we had to do to make this sustainable, hopefully for the next 10 years.
Okay. I'll be honest, my concern of taking power away from city council indefinitely is not something that I like. I understand this. I can tell you back in, it's been 20-some years, 25 years, but I was chairman of public utilities. So I understand rate increases when they came in, and they come in every year back then, they did. And it's great they haven't come in for 10 years, and I understand that. But I'm not comfortable letting go of the ability to say yes or no, even though we say no, we're going to be in big trouble on a yearly basis. That's my feeling on the front end, but we've got 3 weeks to look at this, so, thanks.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman DeShazer.
I know we're heading off a 2027 issue. But what is the likelihood that we sidestep having to build that last tunnel? We've discussed that a lot over the years.
The last treatment facility, I mean, I would have bet on the Browns yesterday, sir. So I don't want to lay odds on this one. I mean, I have a very good feeling with some recent changes in US EPA. Emily's been a great help, Jeff, Rob, Pat, all them out there. We've had some great conversations. We had a great conversation last Thursday. So when I said at the end of the year, I have a very good feeling. This is probably the best feeling I've had. Pat can tell you, we started talking about this high rate treatment in 2017. This is 2025, okay? They didn't want to hear it. But I could tell you this, what we've done in our system, what Rob's people have done in this system with the real-time control, and I know the forecast is for no rain for the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to knock on wood, but that tunnel has not overflowed for 392 days. It has not overflowed till since we flooded the valley and flooded the west side on August 8th. So to build something for $265 million for something that hasn't happened for 392 days, and tomorrow's going to be 393 days, I just don't see that's a wise use of anybody's dollars. So we're very comfortable with the way the system's acting that we can stave off this last project.
I bring that up because people who also feel like, obviously, that it's kind of superfluous for us to build something that we never used. But obviously, you know, the chance of is the reason why you're looking at it. And I was wondering what were the chances of us not ever having to bring that back to the taxpayer?
I think it's very good that we don't build it. And you know, all this is a model, it's a design, and I could tell you August 8th, it would have overflowed, and it did overflow. But if this facility that we're talking about was built, it wouldn't even treat it everly overflow. That storm was so high, it would have still overflowed. No overflow is good, believe me. No, we don't, that river, you should see the fish in it. It's come back, okay? It has come back, but this last project, we want to be treated like everybody else, and I think we're going to be successful.
Thanks.
Person's hand that I saw raised that's not on the committee is Councilwoman Omobian, so I'll go to her. She's online with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I certainly appreciate the presentation. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I certainly appreciate the presentation, and I recognize that at some point everything goes up. And I know everybody's aware that food and everything is going up. And I thank you for giving people this advance notice of 3, 4, 5 months. The question I have is, I know you talk about the savings, but you're talking about a byproduct of something that was forced on us as a city, that we have implemented things that have provided additional savings that would have probably impacted residents negatively if we had not done those mandates. That's one thing. And I think we need some time to, and maybe as you go out to ward meetings in different places, you'll be able to help people understand the savings as a byproduct of being forced to do this. The question I have is, if we have to do that EHRT, I think that's how it's spelled out, and $15 additional, that would be $15 in addition to the increases that would still happen?
Correct. So the increases we laid out, if we were forced to build that, it would be another $15 a month, correct? It'd be a separate line on the bill. It would say high rate treatment, $15 a month. She might have froze.
Just said it would be an additional $15 over the increases. Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just want to make sure of that. But no, I do understand that as a city, we have not increased this for more than 10 years. Everything has gone up by now. This is still going to be tough.
Yes, it is.
And there's no way that we separate out low-income earners from this, right? It's across the board.
Well, there's discount programs for the homestead residents, which is over 65 and own your home. There's a discount program for HEAP, and then the renters are on HEAP. Yes, anybody that's paying the bill, if they're eligible for one of those programs, then they will receive the discount. I think is.
And if they have not signed up for them,
if they haven't signed up in water, they need to sign up from sewer if they're eligible.
Okay.
And if they sign up for sewer and they didn't sign up for water, we'll give them the water discount automatically.
And because it was about to do the CSO. Is that the understanding?
I didn't catch all that.
Linda, can you
The savings that you talk about, you talk about the savings, the cost savings up front. It is a byproduct of being forced to do the CSO project.
It was part of the mandate, yes, ma'am, of what we signed in 2014.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Fusco's next.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with what Chris had mentioned. We're this is probably one of the heaviest lifts we've seen, like in our careers, in all sincerity, in terms of the ratepayers. And it's been lightened considerably based on the amount of talent that we have working in our, utilities. Without question, folks that are in this room and even beyond have helped us so much in terms of, it's not as bad as it could have been. Some of the changes that were made in 15, 16 with the President Obama, and, opening up some flexibility, recognizing that technology does change and that things can change and it can be done in a better way. And of course, we have the folks here that can help us get there. I have a whole slew of questions, however, though I'll limit it, Chairman. I would like to see the rate comparisons. I'm definitely interested, obviously, in all of them. But in terms of the commercial industrial piece, on a comparison basis with our peer cities, that's the market, that's the competitive piece that we also should be considering as well, because these are decisions that CEOs and others make whenever they're looking at staying in Akron, relocating into Akron, and so I'd like to see that as well.
The last slide does show some of the comparisons, sir. So as you could see, we're right there at 5363, and the cities below us are higher rates, and then the cities above us have, now these are sewer only, okay? These are sewer only, and some of the orange municipalities or districts, they have a separate stormwater fee, but it's basically both on their bills, so that's why we included this.
For the industrial,
This is
going to be industrial and commercial, or just?
This is just residential.
That's what I'd like
We'll
to see.
get you the
Thank
other
you.
stuff. And a lot of them do not have a separate rate, but we'll get it for you. That's why we thought, let's be same as across the board and not give a different rate.
No, thank you, I appreciate it. Before I go around to the second round of any questions or anything, I would like to raise a couple concerns. I know my colleague, Councilman Bolden, brought it up about eventually after, so 2029, I look at it as the checks and balances of city council is eliminated. And that's why I sit in this chair and I was elected by the people, is to come down to City Hall and be their checks and balances. So that is a major concern that I have. Also something that I have to weigh, and I know a lot of my colleagues have heard it from their residents about all the utility bills are going up, and our property taxes, and the only thing I can do as a council person is listen to them and lend them my ear. But this is something that I can be involved with and with my decision. So I have a lot to think about, but that is something that I don't think we as council should really move into, with taking the checks and balances and the decisions away from city council. So that is one concern that I do have. And I don't want to take nothing away from all the city folks that worked hard on this and the presentation. It was really presented really well, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the information. But we just have to ask these questions.
Sure.
And have this discussion. Sometimes we might say things that aren't correctly, what you want to hear, but that's our job as city council. So that is one concern that I have, major concern that will automatically say no. I'll vote against that if that is something that's taken out of our hands in regards to the decisions that we have to make on behalf of our constituents. All right. Councilman Bolden, you had another question?
Yeah,
Thank you.
question I thought of, municipalities that use, I know they use water, they buy water, they do use sewer too, correct?
Some of them do, like, some of our neighbors, but they're a master meter.
Okay.
So a little bit different. All the flow that comes back to us goes through a meter.
Right.
And then they're billed for that.
Okay.
Because they're a little different, because right now, if our residents call, we go fix the sewer in front of their house. We don't send them a bill.
Right.
Cary Avenue is 100,000. We don't send those residents a bill. But in those municipalities that are master meters, they're responsibility for their O&M. So if there's a backup in the basement, they call them, even though we treat it. We're basically charging them for treatment.
Right.
They're
We're not-
responsible for all the capital improvements in their district.
That's what I wanted to ask.
That's
Thank
the
you.
difference.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I agree with what you're saying, and I feel the concerns, or we feel the concerns of our residents. I mean, I'm born and raised in Akron. I'm going to go to church Sunday, and people I sit next to, what are you doing? You're raising our sewer rates, you know? One of them's our former law director, you know? Former law director, but she's probably going to ask me about this. But I understand what you're saying. So we're trying to be responsible as we can.
No, and I appreciate that. It's a great presentation. I understand we have a lot to think about. So yeah, it's just one of the things that really, I think we as council should really think about and discuss is the possibility of taking, even though you can look at it as good and bad, you know, you could say, oh, the administration, the mayor, they're responsible for the sewer increase, not me. But also, where does it stop?
Oh, yeah.
I want that ability on behalf of my constituents and my citizens that I represent to say yes or no for whatever it might be to continue to run the city. So,
Sure, I agree. I mean, to be clear too, when we talk about other utilities, they're satisfying, you know, their stakeholders, they're investors. We're covering our costs.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not here to generate funds for anybody to profit on. We're not a publicly traded utility.
No, thank you, thank you. Anything else from committee members or council members? I know we might have additional questions. Please forward them to Chris Luddle, but please include, I don't know if it's President Somerville and Sarah, so we are aware of any of those questions or concerns because we can all learn from each other. And you might have a question that, or someone might have a question or a concern that we forgot or that might come up. So with that, nothing else comes before us. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Would someone like to make a motion for time?
Oh, thank you for that. So can I get a motion for time?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of time, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you.
Our next committee today will be the Public Safety Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. If we could give everyone just a moment here before we get started. Thank you.
Just if
Okay, we're ready to begin the Public Safety Committee. Those committee members are McKittrick, Kamer, Lombardo, Hannah, and Davis. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Clerk Viviano. I'd like to call the Public Safety Committee to order, and we have previous minutes to approve. If I could get a motion and a second.
Motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Okay, we have an ordinance, new ordinance to come before us today, say authorizing the mayor as a designee to enter into a contract or contracts with Bound Tree Medical LLC for the purchase of a high-fidelity simulation mannequin and declaring an emergency. Chief Caracas.
Thank you. So what this is, it's a high-fidelity training mannequin for our paramedics to practice on. It can do a wide range of interventions. I received a $50,000 grant towards the purchase of it, so really only about $2,500 is coming out of our budget.
Okay, well, very good. I know this has been something you've been working on for a while, and it would be very helpful to our paramedics, and looking forward to this. Are there any questions from any committee members or any other council members? All right, I know this has been in the works for a while, and we were on break, so I think it would be appropriate for suspension of the rules on this, if I could get a motion.
I'll make that motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report.
Is there a second? Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. We'll get that out to council this evening. Appreciate your time today. We have nothing further to come before public safety, and we will be adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next committee today will be the Budget and Finance Committee, and it will begin at 3 o'clock. Those committee members are Lombardo, Amobian, Fusco, Boys, and Bolden. Again, that's the Budget and Finance Committee, and it will begin at 3 o'clock. Thank you.
Esther. We're ready.
Okay, it's 3 o'clock, and our next committee meeting of the day is the Budget and Finance Committee. Those committee members are Lombardo, Amobian, Fusco, Boys, and Bolden. We do have all committee members present whenever you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd like to call the Budget and Finance Committee back to order. And with that, we have meeting minutes, I'm sure, from the prior budget money. There's the first motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. All right, we have several items coming before us. Number one, the ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts without the formality of publicly advertising for bids with CDW-G LLC for the Cisco phone system, annual subscription licensing and support, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Fricker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is a renewal of the licensing for 1 year for our, as it says, it's our Cisco phone system, which is our voice over IP. These are the desk phones that city employees use.
Mm-hmm. Is this so it's an annual subscription?
Correct.
No doubt. Okay. Did the cost increase from last?
A little bit, yes.
Budgeted, though?
Yeah.
Very good. Any questions from committee members or other council members?
Yes.
Very good. Motion for consent?
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Put that on the consent agenda. Item number 2 is an ordinance accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission of Summit County and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the Summit County Fiscal Officer and declaring emergency. Mr. Fricker?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is certifying our annual property tax to Summit County. Once again, we are levying 10.5 mils, which is our charter mill limit, which will bring in approximately $40 to $41 million of property tax annually.
Okay. Questions from committee members or other council members? Consent okay?
We would like to pass this, yeah. We want to get this over to the county.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I get a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Suspension of the rules. The third item is a resolution requesting that the Summit County Fiscal Officer make an advance payment of tax funds for the tax year 2025 payable in 2026 to the City of Akron Treasury Division and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is something that the state has required for a number of years now. It goes in tandem with the previous piece. As the county collects the property tax, they can actually advance us the funds as they collect it and not have to wait until the final collections from each half of the tax collection. So with the county, we collect in 2 halves. Mm-hmm. So typically for each half we get 3 payments. So they usually give us 2 advances and then a final payment. So this just permits them to give us those advances so we collect the money a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm. Is that like about every other month?
Correct. Yes, we get, we'll get a piece probably in February, one in March, and then one in April or May. Yeah.
Okay, very good. What's your pleasure on this one?
We'd like to pass this one as well. It goes with the
Okay.
previous piece. Yeah.
Can I get a motion to suspend the rules?
Question.
So moved.
We have one question first.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in terms of this here in the inside millage, the 10.5% that we have, it's 10.5 mils, I guess, more. So that's determined by the mayor. It's also within our operating budget / capital. So is that how that's all?
So it is determined, ours is actually in our charter. So at some point, the charter was adopted in the charter. It was voted upon by, and I couldn't tell you exactly what year that was, but at some point, a 10.5 mil limit was voted into our charter.
But the breakup and the 10.5%, because if we digress, because I should have asked this before.
Right, so on the previous, yeah.
That's what I'm asking, is like the EMS is, 2.8 mils, the general fund is 6.48 mils, bond retirement 0.42.
Right, so those, as each of those were adopted through the piece, and in theory, I suppose we could, readjust, how the millage is split. Although I believe that the police and fire pensions, when those were put in, that was a function of the state bond that was issued at the time. They made a change in the employer pension contributions, and each state or each municipality within the state put a 0.3 mil for each police and fire in their inside millage.
Gotcha. But in terms of, so by us voting on this and the next one, obviously, that's going to determine the 26th millage, the inside millage for us, right?
Correct, yeah, it basically will determine that we are going up to the full 10.5.
10.5, yeah,
Yes.
and this is the breakout of
Correct,
it.
yes.
So conceivably, we could have went in. I'm not recommending it, I'm just wanting everybody to understand what's going on, so,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, we have not, I will say, we have not adjusted these since we put the last, we were at 10.3 mils about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, when we put that last 0.2 on. In terms of the distribution of the millages, I don't believe in the past, several years, 20, 25 years, that those have been adjusted.
Yeah,
I believe
right,
they're the
right,
same as
yeah.
they've always been, yeah.
Gotcha. Cool, thank you.
Okay, so again, with this one, did I get a motion to suspend the rules?
Yeah, I said,
And there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, very good. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. The fourth item we have is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contracts with Verint Americas Incorporated for a case management and database system for the Akron Citizens Police Oversight Board and the Office of the Independent Auditor, and declaring emergency. Going to have Mr.
So
Fennell,
I'll
or-
start. This
okay.
is the software package that we talked about during budget hearings. If you remember, we budgeted this because it is a one-time expenditure. We budgeted this within the finance department, not within the Citizens Police Oversight Board budget. So we did put $100,000 in there. With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Fennell, who could talk about the software itself.
Fennell, welcome.
Yes, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Yes, we had 7 respondents to our RFP. We went through that process of reviewing, myself and members of IT and purchasing, went through the process and narrowed it down to 4. So we did conduct a couple of interviews with those 4, asked additional questions, and out of that process, Verint Americas is the most viable candidate within budget and within their ability to meet all of our needs. So, yeah, just come today to answer any questions you may have, but asking that we move forward on this.
Yeah, thank you. And I see it's like a 3-year deal here?
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. Very good. Is there any questions here from committee members? Councilman, we got Councilman Bolden?
I guess I understand the software. Something else during budget hearings coming up was an employee that was going to help with this. Did we ever?
So there's actually a separate piece today that will address that topic.
Okay.
Yes.
Councilman Fusco?
Just refresh my memory, what are the goals here for this piece?
For the software?
Yes.
Yes, it is the information that we receive from APD on all of the uses of force, whether they're complaints or the actual incidents, are all in paper format, either Word documents or like JPEGs, photographs of documents, or PDF documents. So over the summer, I've had a high school intern who was able to take all of those documents from 2022 up until the information we received through last month, and put all those documents in an Excel spreadsheet in preparation for this. So that Excel spreadsheet will be merged into the database system once it is created. The purpose is to be able to analyze that material more efficiently. All of the data from, like I said, incidents from 2022 on up until now, so that we can look at patterns and trends, look at areas where there may be some concern, look at areas where there's been some improvement. We'll be able to drill down with that into that data to see if there are specific issues related to training or an individual officer, individual units, or where, again, like I said, there are areas where they're actually doing a very good job. But being in that original format, it just made it too difficult to
Yeah, it makes sense.
analyze it.
I got you. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing those. Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Tina Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Does this change the way you receive submissions, or will there still have to be a manual component to uploading all of this?
It'll be a manual component at this point. Now, should APD change how they create their documents, there may be a way to electronically do that, but not at this point.
Thank you.
I will like to add, though, from our end, based on our conversations with Verint, there will be a way for us to receive, citizens be able to make complaints that will go right into the system. That will be part of the package where on our website and hopefully on APD's, we'll be able to put that link to where people can now put their complaints in, and then, we could route them to APD through our system, or at least we'll have it inputted and then be able to add to it. But the initial complaint will be able, but not right now with use of force.
Councilwoman Linda Amobian.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Fennell, I know that you are writing end of the year report, and I'm just wondering, as you get this equipment, you'll be able to analyze what your findings are and be able to add that to your report. And so all of us, citizens and council members alike, can see what you are seeing in a rather, display of a dashboard or something. But it will be something that could be seen visually as what you're finding in these incidents. Am I correct?
Yes, both with, we expect to be able to have a dashboard on our website, on the CPOB's website, that will also work in conjunction with the data analysts so that you'd have up-to-date real-time numbers on where we are and any reports that we do, we can have that on the dashboard. So right now, it'll just be a matter of deciding what we put on the dashboard as forward-facing real-time information for the community, and then as well as when we do our annual reports, it'll be much more efficient than what I'm currently doing with Excel spreadsheets.
Thank you very much. Do you need a motion, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, what is your pleasure?
I'm sorry?
What would be your pleasure for this item here?
In terms of time, do we need this week or can we wait 1 week?
Well, I'd prefer this week. We worked on it for quite a while.
Yes, no problem. I get a motion to suspend the rules?
I move that we suspend the rules.
Have a second? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Very good. See, that's passed. Okay. Our fifth item is an ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with JNP Industries, LLC, for the data analysis services for the Office of the Independent Auditor and declaring an emergency. Mr. Frederick.
Okay, this is another item that we talked about during the budget. This was originally budgeted as a part-time employee within the Citizens Police Oversight Board. So this is being presented as a contract now. So as a result of that, we will likely, as part of our annual budget amendment process, move the budget dollars down from the labor category down to the other category in order to, address this adjustment in how this service is being performed.
So this was originally proposed as a part-time employee?
As an employee, correct.
Okay, and now it needs to be full-time?
Well, it won't be full-time, it'll be a contract. So, and I'll let Mr. Fennell talk about what's in the contract.
Please.
Yes, during the process of trying to secure an employee, a part-time employee, I found that of the list, the candidates on the list, there weren't anyone that could I felt adequately do the job. So we looked for alternative ways to meet our need, and one of those was with a service contract. So we sent a request out and received about 16 respondents to that request, and of those, many of them were way off base on price. So we ended up narrowing it down to 3 candidates, interviewed those 3, and ended up with J&P. And we're looking at it for at least a year, and then we could reevaluate based on how that relationship works out. But they bring a level of experience, specifically not just with oversight data management or data evaluation, but with government systems. So after interviewing again with IT and interviewing with purchasing, we narrowed down to this organization.
Mm-hmm. What was the original budget figure that we were looking at as a part-time
So
employee?
it was just over about $40,000 combined between the salary and the pension component of the salary. So this is showing more than that. Now that's based on, I believe they quoted about 900 hours of time. So we will have to kind of watch the number of hours such that we stay within the budget, because we budgeted about 40,000 for this.
And I would add that part of their quote, because they were not aware of our building or getting a database, includes some tasks that are going to be done by the database. So I'll be able to control which tasks they do and which are automated through our database.
Yeah. Would the increase in salary come from your office or back to the finance office, or how's that going to be
So
handled?
we will move, we will not be increasing we're going to move exactly what we budgeted. Like it says, approximately $40,000 down from the labor category to the other category. So that will be, the number of hours times the hourly rate that we have to work with for the remainder of 2025.
Is there any other questions from committee members? Councilman Bolt?
I guess I'm confused. So the original budget was for a part-time employee for a year, correct?
Correct.
So is this a year contract, or is it
It's a year
end of the year?
It is a year contract.
I just want to make sure we're not paying for 3 months for what we've budgeted for a year.
I mean, we will have to live within the $40,000. Now, again, there may be a little bit of higher cost at the beginning because.
So this contract will be from, say, September 15th, 25 through September 26th.
Correct.
Okay.
But the amount budgeted.
It wasn't until the end of the year. I'm going like, that
Right.
doesn't sit.
Yeah, so the amount budgeted for 2025 is $40,000. They need to stay within that for this year.
So that you're going to come back in 26 for another 40,000.
That will be something that we evaluate for 26 and see what we need.
Okay,
Yes.
so back to my thing, so I guess I'm back to being confused. This is for September to December to January?
The contract is, so there's two things. The
Yes.
contract is for a year, so it's September
Right.
to September. Then there's the budget component, so they have to live within the budget that we had for this year, which is $40,000.
So 40,000, right, and that ends up this year, at the end
That's
of
correct.
December.
That's
So
correct.
basically, it's $40,000 for the work they're doing now until the end of December.
Correct. That's what they have. Now, hopefully they don't spend all that, but that's what is in the budget.
Okay.
Any other, Councilwoman Linda Amobian?
Yeah, I just want to clarify for me, you're still looking at data that they're going to be looking at that you have been able to collect by using the intern from 2022 to now. So these people are going to be looking at all of what you have collected and I understand what Mr. Councilman Bolton is asking. Instead of dividing 12 into 40,000, we're going to be using the last 3-4 months of the year. That's going to be $40,000 probably. But you're talking about a different mechanism of doing the work as well. It's not a labor, it's a contract with a company that's going to look at everything. And I don't know, I'm just assuming that they're going to do as much of a deep dive into this as possible with the information they have. Whether you collected the information this year or not, it's going to be all the information you've collected. Am I correct? No.
Well, yes, the first review would be to, again, see what what we have. No one's ever looked at the data in this way. So when I first came into the position, I found files from 2022, and so I said that'll be our starting point to at least give us a baseline. And now going from there, and that's why I said we need to evaluate next year what our needs will be. But once we have all of that data analyzed, we may not even need a deep dive anymore. It may be the systems in place that we can automate it. I just don't know yet.
Let me ask you this. There's 2,080 hours in a work year. Part-time, 1,040. So with this 40,000 that we budgeted, and I know you just said we may not use it, are they going to be doing like 1,040 hours worth of work in 4 months?
No, they will not. I don't anticipate them doing 1,040 hours of work before the end of the year.
So they wouldn't use,
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because, holidays and really not 4 months left. Is there any other questions we have on this? Nope. What was your pleasure on this item here?
We'd like to move as quickly as possible as well, so that we can get both online about the same time.
I got you. So you're asking for suspend the rules?
Correct.
I'll let the committee, is there a motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report?
So move.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Second? Okay. Is there all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Sarah,
Can we,
roll
a roll
Sarah.
call? Thank you. Lombardo,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Fusco, Boys,
Aye.
and Bolden.
No.
The motion passes 4-1.
Okay. Very good. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Our next item is, and our final piece today, is an ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent or her designee to extend the court's implementation contract with Tyler Technologies for the final implementation of the Odyssey Case Management System, that's CMS, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you. So we're bringing this forward today as a final amendment to the contract, as the courts recently went live with the system on September 5th. This is designed to take into account their go-live, post-go-live support, and ongoing data conversion for the next couple of months. With that, I'll take any questions.
Okay, so this is for the court. Yeah, we've seen this before, Tyler.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Is there any questions from any committee members? Other council members? Very good. Your pleasure today?
So I hate to be on this train, but I'm going to ask for suspension of the rules as well on this.
No problem. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules with a favorable report?
So move.
Motion, is there a second? Not a second?
This is the case management system that we've been talking about for years.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is up and
Well, I
running.
can second it, right? I can second it.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Very good. Motion
Thank you.
passes. You're welcome. Without any other further business, the Budget and Finance Committee is adjourned.
That is our final committee meeting of the day. Council will meet in regular session at 6:30.
Yeah.
Thank you.
16 weeks, which is what we have left, is only 640 hours. We're good.